Hi, and thank you. I'm so happy to be here today. You all look great, especially after lunch. Sit up in your chairs, get a little energy going, no afternoon slump. Well, I want to ask you, how many people here today are baby boomers that you were born maybe between 1946 and 1964? Raise your hand. All right, I see a few here. Now, I'm a baby boomer myself. Oh, thank you. Now, I don't want to freak anybody out here. But did you know that a baby boomer dies every 50 seconds? I know, crazy, huh? Now, everybody stay with me, at least while I'm up here, okay? 10,000 baby boomers retire every single day. They're the most educated and highly skilled workforce in the United States history. Matter of fact, they make up 40% of all employed people and over 50% of all managers and professionals like doctors and lawyers. And on top of that, baby boomers control over 50% of the wealth. So, do you think you might be able to learn something from a baby boomer? Inside this incredible present are the secrets for you to be happier, healthier, wiser, skinnier, more successful, have a better marriage, and just an overall better life. Now, you're going to get the choice. You can either share the secrets inside this present with everyone, or you can keep them all to yourself. But now, if you choose to keep these secrets to yourself, they're going to die with you. What's inside this amazing gift are your stories, your information, your wisdom, your knowledge. What's inside this amazing gift is your legacy. And today, I'm going to teach you how to write your legacy. I have this incredible aunt who's 80 years old, and she has these huge blue eyes that this thing just doesn't want to stay with me, does it? They just pop out of her head when she's talking to you, and when we were little kids, it would make you nervous. And if she ever said, "Listen, honey, come here, I want to tell you something," well, then you should be kind of scared. Well, she was a widower not once but twice, and she was single for about 30 years. So when she heard that I was getting divorced, she said, "Honey, come here, I want to tell you something." Well, yeah, I was kind of scared. She proceeded to tell me, "Listen, when you're looking for a man, you want to make sure you don't end up being a nurse or a purse." Well, what was she saying to me? She was giving me her expertise of being single for the last 30 years. She was sharing her story. She was sharing a piece of her legacy. But it's not good enough just to do a verbal dump of information from one person to the other, because things get lost in the conversation. Remember when you were a little kid and you played that story with your teacher where she would whisper a story in your ear? And then you'd whisper it to another student, and by the time you got to the end of the classroom, the story was completely different than what it had first started. Well, the same holds true for your stories. So what we need is an accessible, searchable, and sustainable knowledge library to house all this information. Because when those baby boomers finally exit the room for their retirement, guess what? Billions of dollars of corporate data and knowledge and information is going to walk out of the room with them, unless managers and executives take it and they try and record it and mitigate this loss. But the question is, will they? Will they record it? And the question I have more importantly for you is, will you record your stories, your wisdom, and your knowledge? Well, with today's technology, it's really pretty easy. We're lucky that you could take your phone and you could just make an audio recording. You could make a video. You could have somebody else make a video for you. You could create a YouTube channel, a podcast. You could write a blog, a newsletter. You could even write a book. So there really is no excuse not to record your information and knowledge. But you might be saying, you know, I just don't feel like I'm extraordinary. I'm just an ordinary person. What kind of story do I have that could affect somebody's life? And on top of that, I'm not even a baby boomer. Well, you know what? Everybody's story can make an impact on somebody else. My son Nathan, when he was a freshman in high school, he tragically crashed and burned academically. But his sophomore year, he heroically got on the honor roll. His mother was relieved. But that year, his brother, who was a freshman justice, he gave his brother every morning his expertise about how to succeed in high school. Of course, his sentence kind of started with, hey, don't be an idiot. Make sure you turn your homework on time, and don't be an idiot. Typical teenager. So you might be saying now, okay, I get it. But you know what? I don't feel like I've had a lot of successes in my life. I don't run $1 million company. I haven't made millions of dollars. And matter of fact, I feel like I've had more failures in my life than I have successes. Well, you know what? As a human race, we learn more from our failures than we do our successes. Steve Jobs, before he left this planet, started Apple University to record the horrific failures that Apple had so his community and employees could learn from those failures moving forward. So now you may say, gosh, I think maybe I can do this. But really, who has time to leave a legacy? I mean, I've got a job, I've got a family, I've got the honey-do list. I have no time for myself. Well, I'm going to teach you how to write your legacy in one day. You're looking at me with these funny faces. But I'm serious. I'm going to teach you a technique that you can do this in one day. I call it the 10 by 3 by 3, and it's really simple. Anybody can do it. So you start with the 10 most frequently asked questions and the should ask questions. Okay, so the frequently asked questions are the questions you get all the time, maybe even every day, about your business, your expertise, your life, your story, maybe even your illness. Could be, how did you lose 30 pounds? How did you make that sale? How did you end up in bankruptcy? Or how did you get out of bankruptcy? Then you want the should ask questions. Now, the should ask questions are the ones that if they knew what you knew, this is what they would be asking. This is where you show your expertise. Then you want to come up with 3 stories that answer those questions. Now, these stories can be personal stories from your own experience that you've had. It may be from a friend or a customer, their experience, or it could be a story that you heard or even watched on TV. Then you want to have the lesson. Now, the lesson is very important because this is the aha moment for either your listener or your reader. It's where they go, oh my gosh, now I get it. It makes sense. I can do this. So once you have that, I'm going to give you a simple example. So my parents have been happily married for about 64 years now. And my dad frequently gets asked, how did you stay happily married for 64 years? And my dad says, you should be asking me, how in the heck did she put up with me for all of those years? And then my mom tells the story. She's an insomniac and likes to sleep till 10 or 10:30 in the morning. And my dad thought it would be a brilliant idea to kind of slow down from the family business and come home around 11 every day. My mom said, are you crazy? I'm not even up and around yet. No way. You cannot step foot in this house till at least 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the lesson is everyone needs some personal space to have a successful marriage. So now I see, it's coming together now. I can do this. Now I think you're looking at me like that. In the course of your lifetime, you'll have over 1 million experiences. And between the baby boomers could be 76 trillion experiences that could be lost unless you record your information. So today I challenge you to take the Life Legacy Challenge. It's really simple. Just take 5 minutes of your time and think of as many questions, stories, and lessons that you can come up with. But now the key is, remember, you need to write them down, make an audio recording or a video recording of them. Because your information, your knowledge, your wisdom, your information and inspiration is the most valuable currency that we have to move the human race forward. It's not just within your abilities, it's your responsibility to leave this gift, this precious present of your legacy. So take the Legacy Challenge. Thank you.